everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here. Welcome to Sexy Saturday. Now I'm a little later than I normally am. It's been a chaotic kind of day, but that often happens. And if you're looking behind me, I'm sure you're seeing our new frames that we did just the other day on Thrifty Thursday. So today, what we're going to be working on is turning some jeans shorts, cutoffs, rolled up cuffs into a little something sexier. And by sexy, I think we're going to be using some of our gorgeous heat transfer vinyl adhesive and some specially, ooh, that's upside down, some specially cut out designs. Now this is a little more romantic and a little less sexy, but we got some other stuff here for you all to check out. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to discuss heat transfer vinyl adhesive. Now heat transfer vinyl adhesive, we carry it. It comes in rolls 1 foot wide, 3 foot long, and it's designed to be fed through matte side up. I'll have a piece of it here. We have a shiny side, and then we have a dull side. It's meant to go into your cutter matte side up, because this matte side, this is actually the adhesive. And it'll run a program. If you've ever used one, you know how the cutters work. If you haven't, well, we have videos on how we've worked this with cutters. And if you don't have a cutter, we actually do have pre-cut designs on our website, so nobody's left out. We have options for everybody. I'm going to flip the camera down, and the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to weed out one of my small designs so you can see how weeding works, and we'll talk more about cutting. And I'm going to tape this down, and then I'll flip the camera down. Hey Dana, nice to see you. All right, so you can see me here, and I'm actually going to zoom this in because this is small and otherwise you won't see what I'm doing. So it's way easier to weed this on a dark surface because it helps these lines that are cut into the vinyl show up. Also, when you purchase these from us, whether it's the roll of vinyl or whether it's a cut design, we give you these little LED party lights. Now this thing may be dead because I've been using it. Yeah, it's dead. I've killed this one. But this design I've weeded out about 4 other times today, so I'm pretty familiar with it. So the first thing I'm going to recommend, because this is how I have found ways to do this, you can either place a piece of tape sticky side up on your board, or if for a small design like this, I like to wrap it around a couple fingers, and you're going to see why. Because we're going to be pulling out little tiny bits and doing this with a little and these tweezers came with something else I have, but you can get them. They're the pointy tip tweezers. They're super easy to work with and very useful for this, because then I have my picking tool and my tweezers all in one. Makes a huge difference in weeding out this pattern. And this happens to be a set of lips. So you weed out, when you cut your pattern, weed out all the inside pieces first. Take a minute, go through this slowly. I know you can't see the lines as well on camera as I can with them in front of me. That's kind of just what happens. Oops, and see, I was pulling the wrong spot there, and I've done that plenty before. But fortunately, this vinyl is very forgiving, so you just tuck it back down and pull up the correct piece. Don't pull, if you pull on it and rip it, you know, that's kind of game over. But if you just pull on it a little bit and stretch it, you can tap it back down in. And having this little piece of tape on my hands means that all this little bit of weeded out vinyl adhesive isn't floating around anywhere. It makes, like, your cleanup is right there. And I've done this with lots of different projects, not just this vinyl. Anytime I have to pull a lot of little small bits out of something, I have found that having a tape pad of some sort is really, really helpful. And this will only take a couple minutes to weed out because, like I said, I've done it so many times that it doesn't matter that I don't actually have the LED light tonight right now, because I'm pretty familiar with the pattern. I'll still make a mess somewhere. I always do. I mean, let's face it, it wouldn't be me doing this if I didn't find a way to have an interesting oops. And I think that was one of my interesting oops. Okay, there's a spot there, there's a piece there. I cannot for my life. Sometimes I have a little trouble. This is why the LED light is so helpful. I can have a little trouble seeing what is supposed to be left behind and what's supposed to be pulled out. So I can, since I happen to have this one cut, I can go back in and see what I'm missing. There's a little dot there, dot there. There we go. I knew I was going to make a mess out of something if I wasn't careful. There we go. And if you see this right here, this is what the pattern's going to look like. This is what it's going to look like all weeded out. So we don't have that much more to do. This goes pretty quickly. And honestly, I love doing this kind of stuff. I find it so relaxing. Okay, there's just a little cut there, and because I pulled on it funny, it didn't want to let go the right way. But it will not make any difference in the end. So when I'm got a lot of these to do, I just put a movie on in the background and relax and weed out all the designs. Getting towards the end now. And when we send you a pre-cut design, we send you all the instructions and an image picture of the design you chose, so you can have it for reference if you're really struggling. Because sometimes, you know, the light colors and the fine lines and everything can be hard to see, and we don't want you all to struggle. We want to help you, so we try to make it as easy as possible to use these. Now, if I do too many of these, especially with a detailed design like this, I feel like I'm going blind. Looking for all these little tiny dots and everything. I feel like the guy who does the carvings on grains of rice. I get in here really close looking at everything, and then I come up with my glasses and, you know, big blinking eyes, and I'm like an owl. Okay, so you can see I have weeded out my design. A little bit right there that I need to pull. I'll compare it to this one, make sure I didn't forget anything. Yep, there's a little spot right there. And I actually forgot that one over here on this one. Shame on me. That's why you go back and check. Okay, so we've done the inside. Now I'll explain exactly. Let me zoom back out a little bit. Isn't that cute? Look at these little lips. Well, lips are very sexy, so perfect for Sexy Saturday. So the reason you do the inside is that the carrier that this is on is adhesive to help it stick to the fabric while you do the fusing, but it is so sticky that if you peel the outside off while you're trying to weed it, you're going to have arm prints all over this, you're going to have skin cells, and it will eventually dull the tack level that you need to keep a little higher. So I'm going to peel the outer edges of these off, and we have one more design to go with these lips. It's already weeded. I was only going to weed one little one to show you, and then I saved the outside band until just before we're about to ply them so that I don't have stickiness everywhere. And the stuff you peel off, it just gets thrown away. It is adhesive, but it's not usable for anything. You've already taken it off the carrier. And by the carrier, I mean the sheet of plastic that it's mounted to. Okay, got all that pulled off. And pull. Alrighty. All right, and then the last one to go with this, well, there's a glass of wine. Glass of wine, a couple of sparkling ruby lips. Very sexy. And by the way, when I create Sexy Saturday, I didn't mean it like I was going to show up naked doing finishes. Somebody actually asked me that. I meant that the finishes would kind of have some sex appeal to them, some glamour. But, you know, Glamour Saturday isn't as intriguing sounding as Sexy Saturday, so. I went with, and plus S&S, Sexy Saturday. It's an alliteration that works better than a lot of the others. Now you can see I weeded my little wine glass out. Look how cute that is. I love that. And again, this is just leftover adhesive that we're not going to fuse to anything, so it's going to get put away. Now, I bought a couple of pairs of cutoffs from Old Navy. I like my jeans really loose when they're shorts because I hate having them tight around my legs. So I buy them super big and they make me very happy. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is put on a pair of lips because I think we're going to have one pair of lips behind the wine glass. It's almost like it's sipping, and then maybe we'll mount another pair somewhere else. So when you do this, I have put it dull side down, shiny plastic side up, and I have my iron set to silk. It can easily handle wool. You want to, because every iron's different, so you start at a low temperature. Start at nylon or synthetic and see where it goes. But what you really want to do is hold it here for a few seconds until it turns clear. All right, so I'm going to put it a little longer. Hey Barb, nice to see you. Okay, I'm just going to put that there. And then you need to pull the carrier film back while this is still hot. That wasn't hot enough to release. It's not completely released on here. So I'm just going to keep holding it until I know it's held. Now, fair warning, we could blow a breaker. It's summer. We've been blowing breakers all week. It's a struggle around here with an old building. So we do the best that we can. Why is this not sticking? Oh, I know why it might not stick as well as I'd like. I didn't wash these. And I normally wash everything before I do foil adhesive on them because size can create the sizing that's in new clothes can create a challenge, and I'm fighting exactly what I tell everybody else not to do. It's my own fault. All right, so we're just gonna see if I can get this to bond a little better, and if not, well, that's the end of this live, and I'm gonna take them home and wash them, and we'll do it another day. Me and my great ideas. Yeah, this really is just not wanting to grab real well. I'm not really happy with how this is grabbing, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. Worst comes to worst, I just redo it. And my iron right now is set to wool, so hopefully I can get it warm enough so that it'll grab onto that surface and stay. There we go. I got a little bit of residue still happening here. So if you have a little trouble with your bond, go back, warm it up, roll it back. Don't pull it straight up. You will not get a release that's going to make you happy. It creates tension. And if you look at this right up here, I have a little spot where it did not release as easily. Why does washing it first matter, Lisa? Because these are brand new, and when fabrics and clothing are manufactured, the manufacturer usually puts a sizing on them, which is a coating that keeps them nice and smooth and crisp looking in the store. And that's why when you bring something home from the store, it's super crisp, and then you wash it and it's a lot softer. So they put something like, starch or any other, whatever it is that they use for sizing on fabrics to keep it nice and stiff. And then you wash it off and it softens the fabric. Well, if there's a coating of sizing on here, sometimes foil adhesives don't like that. Sometimes a lot of stuff doesn't like that. So I personally don't normally paint on brand new clothes. Even when they're brand new, I usually put them through the wash, and especially important with t-shirts. Because t-shirts stretch, and if you don't get that sizing off before you put the foil adhesive on, it'll stretch and chip it all right off. All right, so I'm going to put my foil on here. I'm going to drop my temperature down a little bit because I know my iron can be too hot for the foil film and cause it to melt. I've actually melted it. Now the other thing you can do to protect your film if you're concerned about your iron being too hot, and you have to test this stuff. Parchment paper. Now I have a huge sheet of parchment paper, but I only need a little one for right here, so I just tore a piece off. And I'm just going to put this on here, and again, you're putting it between silk and wool and pressing down and holding it about 30 seconds. I know it's not very interesting to watch me sit here and hold my hands down on the iron, but that's what the deal is. This is what you got to do. And then you go back, and you should be able to get a vague outline of your shape on here. Now I'm going back over it lightly with my iron just to make sure, since we already had a little issue with release of the adhesive, I want to make sure I've pressed that down well. And that has to cool before we can put the other wine glass on here. So I'm just going to stick a little pair of lips right over here. I cut 6 of these pairs of lips, so I can put them all over these pants and still have lots more to put in another place. I just wanted to try that. I've never tried using the parchment paper over this carrier. I just wanted to see if it made any difference, and it doesn't. So I've got this on my iron. Wool works. Do not put it up to linen. You will melt the plastic right to your iron. I guarantee you that's what will happen. How do I know? I've done it. Now, you might have heard me hit the steam on here. The steam doesn't help The adhesive, what it does is it's wet heat, and it's a little more intense sometimes than the dry heat. I have found sometimes if I throw a little steam at something like this, it actually heats it and releases it a little better. Again, these are all trial and error things. You're gonna have to try them yourself to see what you got. All right, so let's see if I can peel this off. And that one's peeling back a little better than the other one. Also, I'm cutting super, super detailed designs. That can be challenging. You're putting your foils and your cutter and your adhesive all to a test. All right, let's put that down on there. It's actually warm enough that it's grabbing it as I lay it down. And doing this on a hard surface is actually easier than doing it on an ironing board. Ironing boards have a little cushion on it, which is important for when you're ironing clothes and just trying to get the wrinkles out. But this, you want a little bit of pressure, and an ironing board doesn't help. If you have a t-shirt press, you set it to 325, I believe is 325, and you heat the vinyl adhesive under there for, I think it was 3 to 5 seconds, and then you press the foil on there for 12 to 15. This is irrelevant if you don't have a hot press for t-shirts. Okay, there we go. That'll cool for a second. This is basically cooled. And let's pull it back. I mean, oh, nice. Now, I didn't get 100% release in here. I could go back, but why would I go back? Because I'm about to put my wine glass right over that. Because now it'll look like I'm having a sip of wine. I entertain myself as I theme my clothing. Don't be mad. Also, I have a pocket under here, so I'm fighting with the seam a little bit too. There's a pocket in the back. Unroll my cutoff so that I can press my wine glass on here. The wine lover's pair of pants. And you can see now on the bigger one, you can see how this is opaque here and turning clear up here. The heat is literally melting this stuff to the clothing. I gotta make sure I get all the way up to the edge so that everything's melted, but I'm trying very hard not to go over the edge of the carrier because I don't want to reactivate any of the foil adhesive up here. And yes, this foil and foil adhesive is machine washable. Do not put it in the dryer. Do not iron it again. The reason is, it's real simple. The heat reactivates the adhesive. It'll cause it to chip off and to flake off. And then after a while, the adhesive, you heat it too many times, it becomes super brittle. And it'll just make a very unattractive, cracked look. So the more often you can hand wash or cold water wash and line dry, the better you're gonna be. Now that's not to say I haven't thrown things in the dryer. They'll handle it once or twice, but like, don't do it. Just save yourself the agony and don't do it. All right, let's leave that, doesn't want to come right there. It's being a little stinky right here. Now, I have never layered these stencils before, so I may be fighting the underneath adhesive. I'm not really sure. But it'll all come off eventually. I promise you it will. And there we go. It's on there. Perfect. Yay. Let me see. Nothing left on the carrier film. Now, I had two ideas. I had Odell, and I had the golden hearts. Oh, wait, no. You know what? I was wrong. I picked completely differently. I went for this one because I want to use the Odell on the other pair of shorts. I think this would look so sharp over the red lips. So, and I also know that by doing this, I can release some of this blue where the red was or is, but there might be breaks in that adhesive. It's like laying any other foil over exposed foil adhesive. You can have some surprises. All right, see my iron's a little hot, so you can see I'm starting to pucker there a little bit. So I'm just gonna take this and go under there. And I'm gonna hold this down here for a few seconds. Oh, thank you, Susan, for the sprinkles. And by the way, everybody, your sprinkle contest, fabulous. You had 45 sprinkles by the time we had the contest. I thought it was 44, but I actually recounted and it was 45. And we picked our winner yesterday, and we will do another contest probably in August that involves sprinkles. So absolutely keep up with the sprinkling, keep that in your habits, because only good things happen when we sprinkle. At least that's what my mother always said. Okay, so I've ironed this on here. It is quite well bonded. If it's not, it has to cool. I'm going to pull these lips off of here. Darn, those are sexy lips. Look how good those look. So cute. And I generally, when I'm doing stuff, I had rolled, these were cutoffs, but they're far too long for me. So I folded them when I got them home so that I know where to put my design. Now the bottom of this wine glass is probably gonna hit a little below where the roll is, but that's okay. I can live with that. I'm gonna set that aside because that actually has to cool for a minute before we peel the wine off. And I'm gonna grab the other pair of shorts wherever I put them. Up, they're under here. There we go. So these are Bermuda shorts, and these were far too long for me. But I rolled them up again, made them a better length. But I just need a little something something on here, and I wanted to go a little more romantic. So I was thinking the fairy moon. That's very pretty. So the last, thank you, Jenny. And by the way, Jenny was our contest winner. So if you want to know the value of sprinkling our videos, she can tell you. She's getting a package sent to her. Jenny, I did not get to the post office today, so it's going out on Tuesday. We got overwhelmed here. We just opened up sidewalk dining in Brookfield, Illinois this weekend. It had been discussed and done in other towns, and they hadn't been doing it here. And so they just opened it up this weekend, and it has been incredibly popular, but it's also made me very busy, which I have no complaints about. All right, I gotta peel this outside bit of film. Whew, I'm getting really warm from sitting here with the iron and the ironing stuff, and I am sitting in front of my air conditioner, and it's like it's not cooling anything off anymore because I'm hot. Whoever thought that 95-degree out with questionable air conditioning was a great day to pull an iron out should be spanked. Well, that was me, so I guess it was my own bad idea, and shame on me. I have nobody to blame for being hot but right now but myself. All right, let's keep peeling this carrier, or peeling the extraneous. And I will tell you, when I peel off, I know some of you are going to be like me with this. I peel all this adhesive off, and it gets thrown away, and I just keep looking at it going, what can I do with this? There's so much of it, I'm throwing it away. So if anybody comes up with great ideas of what to do with the leftovers, tell me. We will use it for anything that we can come up with. I hate waste, and that's where I'm the only thing that frustrates me with this is I don't like And it's with anything with the Cricut vinyls and stuff like that. I hate throwing away all the stuff I peel off. Okay, there we go. So that's peeled off. And if you're asking questions and I'm not answering, it's because I'm looking down at the work that I'm doing. So do not, under any circumstances, hesitate to post the question, and I will come back. I always answer all the questions. I come back and answer them if I miss them the first time around. All right, I'm gonna play with this leg a little bit just because that plastic wants to fight me. I just want to get everything placed nicely here. And I really, really don't want to place anything on the fly of the jeans. Shorts, because, yeah, that's just not attractive. I'm kind of obsessed with shorts this summer. I didn't wear shorts for decades because I got to take my jacket off. I'm cooking. I'm sorry. I was trying to keep it on so nobody would see my bra straps, but since now y'all are down here and you can't see the top of me anyway, it's okay. So I used to never wear shorts because I was very self-conscious about my legs and so on and so forth. And somehow one of the benefits of all this time locked down, things are flying all over the place. All the benefits of all this time locked down is that I am actually learning to say screw it and wear what I want. Whatever makes me happy gets me through my day. That's all that counts to me some days. All right, so we're putting this on, and you can see just that quick brush over with the iron changed the color. So it's already starting to melt. And I'm just moving it around, heating it up. Don't fuse this to your fabric, then walk away and try to come back and peel it off later. You'll end up just shredding it off of the fabric. That's not how this material works. It works best when you can slide it off the carrier while it's still hot. And if you're not good, the temperature, it can be hot, but I have never had it burn my fingers, but I know some people are a little more heat sensitive on their hands. I have so many calluses on my fingertips from so many years of, just scratching at stuff and shoving things in with my fingers and doing all kinds of stuff with my on my job sites, burnishing tape. I don't feel the heat on the fingertips the same way I used to. All right, so this is starting to melt really nicely. And give it a little pressure. You want to really work it in, because the clearer you can make it, the darker it starts looking on here, the better it is. Now I'm pushing a little bit, giving it a little weight, put my head on my hands because I'm tired. I was here until 10 o'clock last night. Although really I wasn't working, I was giving myself a manicure, and yes, I foiled my nails. I used our pink orange tie-dye. And if anybody was wondering how you foil your nails, I've done a couple videos on that too. And you can use any of our foils to foil your nails. All right, now I think I should be able to start peeling this back a little bit. Hopefully it'll not fight me too much. Yep, that's coming out well. Good, 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 good. Right on the arm, I had a little bit of bad release there, so I'm gonna go back, heat that up. Can't have the fairy pointing at something and not have her have an arm. There we go, yay. And again, excellent release. Do foil nails last longer than polish? No. Because you're doing them in conjunction with polish. Now, I have I taught myself how to do my own acrylics over the lockdown. I have UV lights, I have UV top coats, so that's what makes it last longer than regular polish. But this is over polish with a heat. You can actually use regular nail polish and our Odell Foil adhesive, but that is a different video. And I used, because I like UV stuff just because it cures harder and faster. I don't sit still well. So I did that with UV top coats and stuff on there. All right, so we're gonna use the Odell Foil, which I think would be super sexy romantic on this. I really think this would be so pretty. And, you know, Odell will transition into winter because I always wear shorts in the winter. I just started wearing them in the summertime. Now, the one thing with Odell is it's translucent. So, well, most foils have a pretty side and not so pretty side. This is a harder one to tell because the back side actually looks more colorful than the front. So when we ship it out, I always stick little pieces of tape on the side that doesn't go towards the adhesive. I have found that it helps customers not get confused when they lay it down so they don't get a funny spot on their release. But I also thought this is very deeply, darkly, romantically wonderful. And I'm gonna take a little bigger piece of parchment paper. I'm gonna put it on here and I'm just gonna start ironing. Okay. Adjusting my temperature because I tend to knock the temperature down when I set it over here just because otherwise I'm gonna die of heat stroke. I am actually pushing on this. I've got that on basically. I can see that it's grabbing, no problem. I just want to drop my temperature a tiny bit so I can go back over the entire surface and make sure I didn't miss anything. But if I don't drop my temperature, I can melt. And I've done it. You see those little bits of stuff right there? That's a foil that I melted right onto the iron because this is a new iron. This is the famous iron that went to college with my son for 4 years, and it never, not only didn't ever come out of the box, it never had the plastic taken off of it. So it became my studio iron, and when he moves away from our house, he's living in our apartment over our garage, but when he actually moves away from home and needs to iron something, I'll give him another iron. All right, so let's pull back that wine glass. Let's see how that release goes. This is gonna look good. That worked out great. A little tiny bit of silver and blue release right here, but I got a pair of lips sipping a glass of wine. I think that is so cute. And I might put a few more pairs of lips on here because I have several more of these cut out, but I'm not going to make you sit here and watch that. All right, now, unlike our spray fusible adhesive and our liquid adhesive, this doesn't have to be ice cold when you peel it back. It actually works pretty well if you just get it to cool down a little bit, like room temperature. Let's peel back. Let's hope I didn't screw this one up because I really, really like this. Oh, there we go. That released really nicely. Now I need a little more right here and a little more right here. So I can take, as long as I haven't hit my foil with the iron, I can come back and reposition it, press it down, and release a little more. If I've already put the iron on it and pulled it back and it hasn't released, it's done. Don't bother to use that part of the foil again. And think I want it a little more right by the face, so let me cut off a corner here that I know was not hit with the iron. And I'm going to come right in there and place it right there. And I'll just drop this other piece of foil right over it. Won't hurt it. Okay, that should bond that there. You know, I may be picking up some secondary stuff, but I knew there was a couple spots that just needed a little more attention, so I'm coming back at it, ironing unheat transferred foil, letting that cool off. Give that a sec. I guess you are going to keep me company while I do another pair of lips, because I would like to release that fully transferred for you all to see it. So we'll just put another pair of lips on my other shorts. Why? Because I gotta wait for something to cool off. All right. So obviously it's easier to peel off the extra adhesive when it's small like this. It becomes more challenging. Now, when you're doing something like a t-shirt, I do recommend that you use a sticky board, and a sticky board is simply a board that has had a little spray adhesive placed on it, and then the t-shirt doesn't move as you shift it for placing down the vinyl adhesive, and when you peel it back, it doesn't pull back and stretch. Understand that this vinyl, the one thing you have to know about this vinyl adhesive is there's no stretch to it. So if you're going to put it on a t-shirt, don't put it on one that's going to be tight, because it will not, it'll crack when it pulls on. You don't want it to crack. You want it to be on something, either a hard fabric like denim, like we're using, or cotton weave, like a pillowcase or something like that, as opposed to a t-shirt, which needs a little stretch. So if you're going to have the t-shirt, make sure it's a little on the big side. That's the best way to use them, so they don't crack off. Okay, just keep working on these. Like I said, I occasionally hit it with steam, not because it's going to penetrate the plastic, but sometimes steam heat is more effective than dry heat. All right, here we go. And yeah, that whole top of those lips didn't want to come off. Intricate designs can have their moments. Doesn't scare me, doesn't worry me. Obviously, you're watching me do this. Throw it back down, not freak out, come back, roll it back, do it again. There we go. And we're gonna have some broken stuff on here because it just didn't want to release 100% today. Probably because I'm rushing it. Sorry folks, the foil is blowing in the fan from the air conditioner, which, while it's not enough to keep me cool, it's more than enough to send foil flying across the room. All right. And if I really don't like how this comes out, I'll lay something else over it. So I'm just going to push this on here for a few seconds. Right, that'll sit over here and cool off. And this should be plenty cool for me to peel. Yep. Oh, that's working perfectly. Yay. Place some extra in a few spots that I knew we were thin on. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, folks. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous Odell Foil. And the romantic fairy heart. Fairy moon. So there's that one. I'm so pleased with that. And then we have our fun one, our wine and kisses jeans. Let's pull this off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to re-iron because there's places that it didn't grab. I know, shocker. I have to put that heat back over on that spot over there. It's the end of the night, so I'm rushing a little bit, and that's where I always get caught. Whenever I try to rush something. All right, let's grab a little bit more foil here and get that one spot over here. I know needs a little more foil. What are you all doing with your Saturday night? I'm going home and seeing my nephew and my son and my husband, and I have the next 2 days off to spend with my boys because my son actually, for once, my son and I have exactly the same days off. And with my nephew here, that's awesome because then we all get to spend some time together because my husband works from home. So we're gonna do this. I'm just cooling it off a little. Stick it in front of the air conditioner. Maybe it'll cool that off better than it's cooling me off. All right, I think we're cool enough. I'm rolling the dice here. I like to live dangerously. Let's see if it's cool enough that it'll peel off. Yep, it worked. So you can see that I had a little bit of a broken release with those lips there. That's okay, not every kiss print is perfect. And if I need to, it's not, like I said, I have more lips. I can put another one here or wherever I want. So we have our wine and kisses jeans. Look how cute that came out. And then we have our moon fairy in the Odell. Again, super awesome. Oh, I love, 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 love. Oh, I just dropped a bunch of stuff. I'm about to get my skirt unhooked from the chair. And I'm gonna flip up the camera in just a sec. Give me a second here. Turn the iron off, that's always a good one. Where is my nephew visiting from? He lives in New Jersey. He's spending the next 2.5 weeks with us, so it's really, really lovely. I'm gonna scroll back and see if I missed any questions. Oh, both pairs are great. Thank you, Susan. They're so different. Yep, I just did them, whatever struck my mood. And so I have some and trust me, half of my foils are now my clothes are now foiled. I have beta fish on pants and vines and crowns and all kinds of stuff. I think I'm starting to run out of jeans that I haven't foiled. So I love it, and it's a terrific look. Aren't the lips cute? Thank you, Minetta. Roberta, great to see you. Tamara, hi, how are you? All right, I'm going back. Ginny, you guys have all been so wonderful. I appreciate your time here with me on Saturday. I think we're done for the night. Please remember to use that little arrow and sprinkle the love because we know that Facebook doesn't like the other S word. I know I'm gonna start wearing a necklace that says it, but even they're tracking the actual words. So it messes with the algorithms. I don't know why they don't like it. I don't know what that deal's all about, but regardless, it's Saturday night. I've been here a long time, so I'm gonna go home and see my family. I hope you all have a great night. I hope you have a fun weekend, and I'll see you all when I'm back in the office on Tuesday. Although, you never know. I've gotten inspired and showed up on Monday. The only time you don't see me is Sunday. All right, everybody, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.